Welcome back. This is the Lounge Podcast by Recordon Studios. I'm your host, Dayton Kendrick. Today we have a very special guest. Today, Mr. Nasser Al Khater. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. So we're here in Doha at the Waldorf Astoria here in West Bay for a very special event, right? So we've got the Life Skills Hub, and then you are very close to that. So give us a brief background about yourself and how you came to be here today.
My name is Nasser Al Khater, 47 years old, Qatari. Worked in various and diverse roles, from banking, I'm a finance major, to oil and gas, to government development projects, and to large-scale mega events. We hosted the FIFA World Cup here a few years ago. Started off in media, which I have zero background in, communications, marketing, and finally I was the CEO of the World Cup. And what brings me here today is in 2014, God blessed me with a beautiful boy, Yusuf, who is on the spectrum, and he's a wonderful kid, very spirited, and as parents trying to give him the best life possible, we delved into what does autism mean, and then we understood that it's a spectrum, so there's no one definition to it, and we really started to get involved in trying to give him the best opportunities in life. And we're here in Life Skills Hub because my wife Nihal is one of the co-founders and she's the CEO. And this came up and was born out of a need in the community to provide parents with programs and centers and guidance in helping kids, and not necessarily kids on the spectrum, but kids with disabilities. And now we're at a career fair because all our kids are going to become young adults that are going to become adults that need to go into the workforce. And in the absence of formal avenues, we're trying to work together to build the conversation around that and to foster an understanding around employers, families, and also to make, ourselves known so that we can give other individuals or people who want to start their own programs, whether they want to do it on their own, whether they want to collaborate with what Life Skills Hub. I think me as a parent, I'm not going to take any credit for what Life Skills Hub does, but I see it because I see my wife every day speaking to her colleagues, speaking to the other co-founders about it, and it's not easy.
Yeah. I think there's something special about seeing a need that touches home, touches your heart, right? And you can influence not only folks who are going through the same journey as you, but other companies to see that. Quick question around that. What advice would you give to companies who are maybe hesitant on opening up their companies to folks with disabilities?
I don't think they're hesitant, and I don't think there is a company that is resistant to it. I mean, finance aside, but I think the large companies that can afford it, I don't think that they have a resistance. They want to do good. They want to give back. But I think they faced exactly what I face as a parent. I want to help. I just don't know how. So give me the tools and give me the instruction of, if I do attract people with a disability, how can I help them? I don't know how to do it. I can be nice. It doesn't help. Right. I could be nice and I could be doing the wrong thing, which I do with my son Yusuf. And my wife tells me, no, you need to be firm. And I said, okay, I thought I need to be nice because she's like, don't treat him any different than your other sons. So
it's really around awareness.
Yeah, it's about, and it's not only it's awareness, I think, is the tip of the iceberg. I think it's more really getting into the gist of what you can do, because I have to be trained. Like my other kids need to be trained on how to deal with their brother. So for companies, you have to do your job. You're there. You're probably stressed. And on top of that, you need to also be aware. So it's about giving the tools. And I can guarantee you that in every entity, every organization, whether it's government, whether it's private sector, they will have individuals that will take out of their time to help if they know how to do it.
Yeah. So what would you say to parents who are going through your journey or in the middle of it with a child who has a disability or on the spectrum?
It's challenging. It's emotional, but it'll test your patience, but it's something that is also a blessing in disguise, and you might not see it today, but you will learn to see it.
Was there something that happened or changed in you through your journey with your son?
Definitely, I've become more understanding of people in general, and more accepting of people. And it doesn't have to do with their opinion, because sometimes you judge a person on how he behaves, and you don't know what's in the background. I'm not saying that, you know, they have some sort of disability or if they're on the spectrum. I'm saying that typical people will have, you know, their background, what they grew up with, what they learned, and sometimes you don't have the patience for it, or sometimes you don't have the ability to understand that point of view. And I think this forced me, what Yusuf is going through, what my son's going through, it forced me to start looking at the world differently.
Yeah. So we see Life Skills Hub created out of a need, right, on a personal level. You've seen it grow. You've seen the growth. Where do you see Life Skills Hub going in the future?
I hope it becomes a model, and specifically, look, some people are more blessed than others, either financially or have the capabilities or have the connections to be able to put their kids around programs that are provided by the government. Yeah. But I'll tell you this, it is not cheap to have a kid with a disability, because on top of their academic education, they have to have a host of programs around them to be able to support them. And we saw that all the private sector is providing certain tools, programs, but they're very expensive.
Okay.
So what I noticed my wife is doing is trying to make it really accessible to people with limited income as well. And I think people need to look at this as a social enterprise rather than a commercial enterprise.
Right, to take away the transaction from it. It's an opportunity for community.
You need to make a revenue to keep it sustainable.
Sure.
But it needs to be a not-for-profit. Yeah.
No, I want to thank you so much. I think events like this are not only important, but they're vital for folks who are going through that journey, and for folks who aren't, to understand and empathize with people who are. And I think that's the beauty of having a mixed society, a culture that understands those tenets, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I do want to thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
As a guest on the podcast. Folks, if you're not tuned in, if you're not following the Lounge Podcast, go follow them on Instagram and all your social media accounts. One more time, we want to thank Nasser Al Khater for his time here today.
Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely. Take care, folks. We'll see you next time.